What is going on, guys? I don't know about you, but if you went to C2E2 this weekend, you're probably still recovering from it like I am. Luckily, I took most of this week off, so I have tomorrow off too. But nonetheless, I figured I may as well just go ahead, get that signature haul out of the way for my C2E2 experience. So, how did this C2E2 compare to previous years? I would say it was good. I mean, DC and Marvel were there. So those are always my two favorite things to see. As soon as I walk onto the show floor, is that big DC booth and that big Marvel booth. People wise, it was a busy con, especially Friday and Saturday. Those aisles, especially Saturday, of course, not that hard to predict. But Saturday, those aisles, especially those smaller trenches, were very hard to navigate. So there's probably like parts of the show floor I never even saw because I just took one look down the aisle. I'm like, no way I'm going that way. Like, especially like the one corner of the con opposite of Artist Alley. Like, I have no idea what was over there, and I went all 3 days. So it was a busy con. There's still even some creators I wanted to meet. I never found them, like Tyler Kirkham. Don't know where he was at. Mike Mayhew, same thing. Never found him. But nonetheless, I did get some decent amount of signatures. I got some hardcovers and some other things to show off here. But first, I was just waiting for that chat to build up so I could start calling out some people here. We got Daniel Yabar in the chat saying, "What's up, homie? How you doing, Daniel? Nice to see you tonight." We got my first subscriber ever, Fish Tropic. How you doing, man? Always like seeing Fish in all of the chats. The Comic Don, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. We got Prowler671 saying, "What's good?" Purgatory Paul's book review. How you doing, Paul? Nice to see you. Joker60, how you doing, man? I'll try to have your package out tomorrow. I just was going to get some things bagged and board and organized for you. But yeah, I got everything downstairs ready to go for you. And then Purgatory Paul says, "I'm subscribing to everyone." Yeah, definitely sub each other up in the chat for sure, guys. A lot of new faces in here and a lot of familiar ones too. So definitely get acquainted with one another for sure. I figured I'd start off tonight by just showing off some of the pickups that I got just hanging out the DC and Marvel booth most of the weekend. Like, especially DC, like 2 years in a row now, like since they've came back to Chicago, I mean, they have just been coming out swinging, in my opinion. And we got Silver Age Dave in the chat. How you doing, Silver? Nice to see you tonight. Of course, got the program, so there was one program. Always like, getting those. I just wish they'd make them comic sized again. I like these like big oversized ones, but sometimes for storage sake, I just like storing the smaller stuff better. But nonetheless, cool Ryan Stegman cover on the program this year for Empire. The Marvel offerings, the free stuff, they just had one small like 5-foot fold table of free stuff that got obliterated pretty quick. So I got a copy of Avengers Free Comic Day #1. Wolverine through the years. I think it's some sort of like montage, just kind of advertised Wolverine #1, which is on shelves now. Don't know what that's about. I thought this was a book at first, but it's just like a small print for Empire Strikes Back. Cool Adi Granov print. I think it matches a book that's out now currently, but nonetheless, still pretty cool. And then I think, I got one more DC thing. So it looks like some out-of-date Valentines from Marvel. So thanks for the out-of-date stuff, Marvel. Appreciate it. Hey, free is free. You can't. I don't like to look a gift horse in the mouth too much. Oh, and I got this Marvel 2020 calendar. They give away these calendars every year, and I usually just pick one up. So I figured, why not? Let's see. We got some more people in the chat, though. We got Mark Spector's in the chat. How you doing, Mark? Nice to see you. And then we got Chris Barrett. How you doing, Chris? All right, and then everything else was just me. Like, every time I'd walk by the DC booth, I finally just started telling them no. Like, I kept getting like a couple of the same books as you'll see here, and I didn't want to be like super rude and like run them out of stuff, and then someone else doesn't get some free. But I was just like, after a while, you're standing in line waiting for the signings, and they just come up to you like, "Hey, while you're waiting, you want a comic book?" You're just like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So I got Naomi Convention exclusive #1. They were handing these out like crazy, so don't know if this is like C2E2 exclusive or just to all cons. But nonetheless, they had a lot of these. And they were, like I said, Marvel had a table, DC had people just papering the booth, walking around. Some really nice people just handing stuff out. I think I got this one last year, but they're handing these out again, like these almost ash can size for Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. There's a few of these, like the young adult novel line they're doing. They were handing out ash can versions of that again. Got this cool Batman Superman #1. Nice, really cool wraparound cover. I'm just trying to figure out who did this cover. I don't know if it's Dave Marquez or not, but a lot of the stuff, this was actually one of their banners they had surrounding the booth. So I thought that was really cool. Actually got a second one of those coming up. And then next up, we got Suicide Squad #1, which I actually kind of want to read this. I didn't get this at my local shop because, as you can see, $5 price tag. But nonetheless, they're handing them out for free just to get some #1s out there. And then Joe Hill was in attendance, so they're really going after the Hill House comics. So I got a couple copies of the Low Woods #1. So there's that copy. And then this one as well. And then they were giving out the sampler, of course, too, which I think these were free in comic shops. So they were free at the show, too. So they were just trying to get as many of these out as possible. So there was the freebies I got. So once again, DC absolutely killed it on the freebie game. And I got a free poster for Marvel, too. I forgot it was laying over there. I had to pull it up because I didn't have room to carry it. At the time, I still had a lot of stuff to do, but I got this Wolverine poster I may try to do something with here. Not sure what I'm going to do with that. I may just throw it in a giveaway box at some point. All right. So before I get into the signatures, I'm probably going to keep this video kind of short tonight because I'm still fighting some con crud a little bit. So trying to do my best not to cough in everyone's ears. So if I do, I apologize. Let's see if we got anyone else who joined us here. I think I saw a new name or two. We got Samuel David in the chat. How you doing, Samuel? Nice to see you in the chat. It looks like everyone else is still hanging out and saying hi to each other. Mark Spector asked, who are you most excited to meet there? Mainly just the community members, to be honest. I know that's kind of a cliche answer, but to be honest, like my boy Comic Man Andy was there from Modern Men, which, by the way, we had a Modern Men episode last night. I put the playlist below in the comments and the description. In the description below. So if you guys want more content from me, I highly recommend the Modern Men stuff. Got a nice playlist down below for you guys. I got that Chuckload of Comics. Him and Shauna, two of the nicest people you ever get a chance to talk to at a con. Chuck actually let me sit in on his Cullen Bunn interview. So I put that down below in the comment, or God, what is wrong with me? Keep calling comments in the description below as well. So if you guys want to see that Cullen Bunn interview, I get a couple questions in. Definitely check that video out as well. I guess from a creator standpoint, who was I looking forward to meeting? I probably end up having to say Sean Gordon Murphy. I actually met him a couple times, which I'll get into here in a second. And both times, like he was excellent to deal with. Very nice. Even his table handler, very nice person, very straight up with the information and all that good stuff. But yeah, let's get into some signatures because I think that's why a lot of you guys came in to see here. So a lot of the signatures, once again, I think a lot of signature hunters were sleeping on the DC and Marvel booths. The Marvel booth, maybe not so much, basically because their first signing, was a Grand Slam signing. Basically, they let off Friday with an X-Men panel signing where they had Jonathan Hickman, Benjamin Percy, T.D. Howard, and like 3 other X creators. And obviously, their biggest thing they have going right now is X-Men. So I couldn't miss that signing. And luckily, the handler at Marvel was like, no one's lining up till 15 till. They lined up 20 till, but it is what it is. But luckily, it wasn't one of those deals where a line built up for 2 hours, like completely cramming their booth. DC, they never had that problem. I don't know if it's just because everyone's kind of sour on DC right now because some of their storylines, what happens with Dan DiDio. But a lot of times you get through their lines in 15 minutes or less. Even if it's, this first career about the show, I couldn't believe I was able to kind of just walk right up to him. But nonetheless, first one I'll show tonight, I got Action Comics 894. And I don't know if he does the color markers, but maybe next time I meet him, I'll have him do something brighter. But he likes to sign it in black. It's David Finch's signature right next to Death's hand. I got this in a dollar bin way back when, and it's my favorite David Finch cover I think he's ever done. But yeah, I had to have him sign this. He enjoyed having to talk about that one. And I also got him to sign this Batman #1. It's right up there on the corner of Batman's cape. I just hadn't seen this cover around too often. This is a Barry Kitson Wizard mystery box cover. So for some reason, I just decided to take this one because I think I already have another A cover signed by Tom King. So I figured why not go ahead and get something different signed. So I thought that was a cool one to get signed. And then they have this another one I found for $1 way back when. Got this Moon Knight #1. Luckily, he had a great signature placement on that one. But this is the not for resale version. I think it just went directly to the retailer so they could read it, figure out how many they wanted to order. But yeah, I thought that was a cool option to get signed by David Finch. But like I said, I lined up, didn't even make it on time for a signing, and got through in like 10, 15 minutes. And he wasn't alone either. He had Lee Weeks next to him, so I had to run in my car, get my Lee Weeks stuff because I've never met him. So I got a couple of random books for him to sign. G.I. Joe 106, just thought that was a cool Lee Weeks cover, so he signed it down there on the gun barrel. So I thought that was really cool. We got Daredevil 295 right on the front of the motorcycle there. I thought that was one of the nicer covers I've seen by him. And then I took, I figured I'd take something a little bit more current since he was signing at the DC booth. Figured I'd take one DC book, right? So I took Batman issue 52, which he did the art on the inside. So signed it right there. So that was pretty cool. He got the, had a nice arrangement of work there. All right, let's get back into the chat real quick, and then I'll keep going. We got Joker68 saying Batman book is cool, like Todd McFarlane. Yeah, that Todd McFarlane cover swipe, definitely like that. We got Silver Age Dave saying my Tuesday is good, if that counts. Looks like, we got Cardboard Crazies in the chat. How you doing, Cardboard Crazy? Says, what's up, everyone? Hope everyone's having a wonderful Monday. Tuesday's good too, of course, but I think he realized his mistake after he typed it, so. Let's see. We got Chris Barrett says Seawood is Ann Nocenti going to MegaCon. Unfortunately, I think Ann Nocenti was the first cancellation for MegaCon from what I've seen on their webpage. Unfortunately, I haven't met Ann Nocenti either. That'd be a cool person to get some signatures from, but unfortunately, doesn't look like I'll have any luck this year. Purgatory Paul asks, what comic do you want the most? I think we all want some TMNT #1 first print, but that's way out of my ballpark. Basically, I was joking with someone the other day. It's like maybe I should just sell all these books back here and work toward a TMNT #1. But maybe one day we'll see, because I got too many dang books. And we got Brandon Stilinski. A long time no see, man. You mentioned Turtles, and then you see Brandon Stilinski appear in the chat. How you doing, Brandon? Nice to see you in the chat tonight. All right, so I got some more signatures, of course. Here I got Joshua Williamson to sign this Batman Red Death, and that was already signed by Jason Fabok last year, so he was not at the con this year. I just happened to have that signature already on there, but right above where it says metal, that's where Williamson signed. I actually asked about the Red Death and what he thought about the Red Death's involvement or possible involvement in the CW verse. I guess they're really going toward this character, and he thought it was a little weird that, you do that without Batman, but I guess you could work Batwoman in instead somehow. She made a good point, but that's just interesting. And he colored in the bat part of the costume too. So if you see like the bat logo on the chest, he actually doodled that in. So I thought that was kind of neat. He also signed my other copy I got of Batman Superman, because he did do the writing on this, and I don't know how well it'll come off on the camera, but he drew a little Batman Superman logo on there too. So that was a nice touch. I guess I can just unfold this real quick. Gail Simone was signing right next to him at the DC booth. They're in the same line and everything. Unfortunately, I already have most of my Gail Simone books I want to get signed. So I didn't really take anything for her, but they happened to be giving away these Wonder Woman posters. And I was like, well, screw it. Like, why wouldn't you get a Wonder Woman poster signed by Gail Simone? So there's like the other side of that. I think it folds out. There's like multiple Wonder Women here. So there you go. Oh, okay. It's like a little banner thing. So that's pretty cool. It's the first time I kind of even looked at it and folded it out. So we'll see what I do with that. But nonetheless, I at least wanted to say hi to Gail Simone and let her know how much I liked, her Wonder Woman, her Batgirl stuff, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, Lucio Perillo and the other Italian artist all canceled because of the coronavirus travel restrictions. So I took this book wanting to get signed by the cover artist, but I still had Joshua Williams in there, so I just left it in my bag. And he signed my Flash number 50 as well. Drew a little Flash logo on it right there. So Joshua Williamson, pretty cool guy if you ever get a chance to meet him. Very friendly, likes to chat and all that good stuff too. Got a chance to meet, like I said, Sean Gordon Murphy. I'll be talking about him plenty tonight. I only had one book on my person to get signed. So I got the new Curse of the White Knight issue 1 signed right next to Azrael's sword right there. Like I said, really awesome guy. More on him in a little bit. Jenny Frizen goes to every C2E2, so when you get a chance to just be able to walk right up to her, say hi and all that good stuff, you may as well just go ahead and get some quick signatures. So I got X-Men Red number 10 signed by Jenny Frizen. My opinion, one of my favorite covers she's done on that Jean Grey. I didn't have this in my bag for James Tynan, but luckily I had it in my bag for Jenny Frizen. So I got Something Is Killing the Children number 1. Sign it in gold right there. So very happy with that. And then I think at least the best Angel and Illyria cover I have in the collection that she did. Signed it right there. Love me some Illyria. Definitely one of my favorites she's done. All right, I got to get into this check because there's one guy, he likes to make sure I blow my lungs out at least. But we got YouTube is 90. Drink it in, man. And he also said, fatherhood is 90. So how you doing, Chad 90? Yeah, I got a chance to see Chris Jericho. I was kind of thinking about it. It's like, oh, man, I bet Chad 90 would love this. I went to the All Elite Wrestling pay-per-view. It was right next to the convention center. It was absolutely one of the best wrestling shows I think I've ever been to. Highly recommend if AEW comes in your neck of the woods and you like wrestling at all. You don't even need to know too much about the show. They'll just give you a good wrestling show. So if you like wrestling, I'll go see AEW. But yeah, I know Chad 90 would have liked to see Chris Jericho defend, even though he lost the AEW title to Jon Moxley. Great show. We got Bear Island Comics. How you doing, Bear? Fortunately, this year I missed Bear Island. I missed Comic Head 84. I was like 3 minutes away from being in their big meet and greet, but unfortunately, I just couldn't get across the floor on time because it was Saturday. I still met like half of that group, but fortunately, this time I missed Bear. But maybe next time, Bear. I know you'll probably be at C2E2s in years to come, and I will too. But yeah, sucks I missed you, man. I was looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys. Chris Barrett says, probably skipping ahead in the chat, he says, John Romita Jr. followed the infamous Miller run, plus they created one of the favorite villains. Yeah, John Romita Jr., I think he's going to MegaCon still. Yeah, I met him one time, but hopefully I get a chance to talk to him, meet him again in MegaCon, pending everyone shows up. Unfortunately, because of the coronavirus stuff, there were some big cancellations at C2E2. We'll see how that translates about a month and change from that when we get to MegaCon. And even the cons that are in this month, we'll see what kind of crazy things are going on in the world. Let's see what else we got going. I feel like I missed somebody up. Now I'm going to go back down in the chat. We'll go back down here. We got Rebel Comics and Gaming. What's going on, LP? I know he likes some signatures and some sketches. So what's going on, LP? Oh, let me blow my lungs out again. We got Bake the Snake. Ugh. Like I said, fighting Concrete. I apologize, guys, but I'm working on it. I'm working through it. We got Bake the Snake in the chat. Silver says, hey, CW, lots of guys coming to Toledo March 14th, 15th for Fantastic Con. Great Comic Con. Lots of YouTube guys coming in. Oh, that's cool. Unfortunately, because of my days I requested off for this con and MegaCon, I think I have to work both those days. I've already scheduled. That'd be cool to be able to drive to Toledo for another. I mean, I love comics and all that good stuff. So definitely love getting as many Comic Cons as possible. But man, they are exhausting. Here's another guy I missed. Man from B-Town. I know I believe he was at C2E2 as well. So sorry I missed you, man from B-Town. He says C2E2 is an awesome show, one of the best shows I've attended. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's always a good time no matter what. Like, because of the wrestling show on Saturday, I didn't take my backpack on Saturday because they didn't want backpacks in the arena, and I didn't want to mess with checking my baby and not have it. By baby, I mean my sketchbook. So this isn't sitting in an arena by itself for 4 hours unmanned by me. So, yeah, there's that. All right, back to the signatures. We're almost done with this pile at least. Like I said, there was a cool X-Men signing. There's pretty much 3 main creators I wanted to meet there at that signing. And then there were 3 I'm not super familiar with. I can't remember all their names right now, to be honest. I know Teenie Howard was one I didn't have any books for. and the other two elude me. I'd have to go look at a program sheet. But nonetheless, Jerry Duggan and Benjamin Percy were both on that panel. So I got Jerry Duggan. I had him sign this Thanos Legacy. I think there were like 3 creators going that did this comic to C2E2. So I met Jerry Duggan and then just put it back in my car because I kind of forgot about Donnie Cates and Brian Lovell. But Donnie Cates, let's just say Donnie Cates won the con. Like his line all 3 days was wrapped around this like soda booth that was next to it. It was capped about every chance you look at. So Donnie Cates, if you're wondering who had the biggest draw and was signing the most books, Donnie Cates all day. There's no doubt about that. So didn't get a chance to beat Donnie Cates this time. And we got Savage Avengers #1, signed by Jerry Duggan. Forgot to get David Finch signed because, like I said, it wasn't on my person when I met David Finch. So there's that. And then I forgot to have Mirka Andolfo sign this one. Like I said, I get one signature, then put it away. Shame on me. I got a Teen Titans #12, signed by Benjamin Percy. First Batman Who Laughs, even though it's got a gnarly crease on top. I figured, screw it. Why not? I don't have too many other Benjamin Percy books, so I had him sign that. And my favorite one I had him sign, which I think it was his favorite too, the Wolverine #1 with the cool die cut in the middle. And I was asking him, like, dude, I had to get this book. I loved Wolverine 50. It's probably like the first Wolverine book I ever bought with the Mark Silvestri cover with the claws on it. And he's just like, yeah, that's my favorite cover. He actually has this mounted on his wall in his office because he likes the die cut stuff too. And the 90s gimmicks, if you will. So hey, I like how he appreciated it the same way I did. Oh, yes, we got the Great Legend show in the chat. How you doing, Legend? Nice to see you in the chat tonight. And then Bake the Steak says, hopefully Mirka comes to MegaCon. Love her work. Yeah, we got a little bit more on Mirka Andolfo coming up. All right, so I got, this may be my last, no, I got a few more here we'll show off our signatures. So I got a chance to meet Cami Garcia, and she was an absolute sweetheart. She's the one doing the Joker Harley Criminal Insanity, and I think she did that Raven young adult novel too. But nonetheless, sorry, let me take a drink of water before I cough on you guys. Sorry about that. But nonetheless, I got Cami Garcia, and I'm not sure who this other guy was. I think he's the colorist on this book, which I didn't even know they had a colorist, but got that double sign. His name escapes because I'm really not familiar with this other guy's work, but he was really friendly too. And then they were actually giving away a free copy of issue 1 as well. So this is the B cover for issue 1. They had the A cover for free. So I said, why not go ahead and get another signed copy of that? So, but yeah, she was super friendly. Asked me if I read the whole thing, and I explained to her, like, usually with the Black Label stuff, it's kind of out of my price range to get weekly because this is $6 a pop. And I'm like, I'm waiting on that hardcover. She's like, oh, absolutely, definitely wait for that hardcover. You will not be disappointed. So now I have to get the hardcover for Joker Harley, which I kind of like. We were talking about this a little bit, and she was just like, yeah, I really like the random idea of this book. And I was just like, is it based on like Veronica Mars Beats Batman? And she was just like, I don't really see it like that. I just really like police procedurals and comic books. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense too. So police procedurals, that's what this is based on. So I thought that was a cool little factoid I picked up. All right, let's get into a couple more books here. I got a chance to meet Al Ewing. Surprisingly, I was able just to walk right up to Al Ewing. I was shocked. It was Sunday. He had a decent line most of the con because if you didn't know, Immortal Hulk's a pretty big book, but I think it's, it's kind of cascading in popularity a little bit. So luckily, I think everyone was just stuck in Donnie Cates' line. But nonetheless, got my Immortal Hulk one signed by Al Ewing. Right on the Hulk crotch, I guess. Okay, there you go. Thanks, Al Ewing. But he was nice. A very brief talk to. He just signed, here you go, have a nice day. So sometimes that's the best. Look at this. We got Comics with Bueller in the chat. How you doing, Bueller? Nice to see you in the chat tonight. And everyone's just saying hi to each other. Great Legend says, I'll be doing free autographs for everyone at the Comic Corp booth at MegaCon, powered by the Hero Initiative. Thanks, Legend. I can't wait to collect my free autograph from Legend. That'll be good. And then Man from Beantown says, Ewing had no line at all when I saw him. His booth was bleak too, very minimal. Yeah, sometimes those writers, they just go. I don't know if they go as a guest or pay for their booth. I'm guessing Al Ewing's kind of the point. They just invite him and it's like, here's your table. So he probably just didn't have any prints or anything. Or I think since I don't know where Al Ewing's from. I think he came from across the sea. He probably just wasn't able to ship a lot of prints and stuff with him just because, well, it would have cost him a lot of money to print. And then Rebel says, glad to see you had a good time. Sometime I'll bring Niobe there. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm waiting to see Niobe in a big banner. It says Niobe Comics. Well, one day, man. Bueller says, you going to MegaCon? Yeah, I booked my flight last night, Bueller. I'm officially good for MegaCon. So can't wait to see everyone. It seems like that's going to be the biggest community meetup of the year is at MegaCon. So if you guys are planning on going to MegaCon, definitely shout it out. Let us know you're going because there's a lot of people going. I know a lot of people went to C2E2, but there's going to be a huge gathering at MegaCon, it looks like. So definitely book your tickets now. Baked Snake says, I'll be giving out free high fives at MegaCon. Hand sanitizer squirts will be $5. That's a good idea. Like I said, no offense to Chicago, but since they passed certain laws and the whole corona panic, it basically the con reeked of weed and hand sanitizer. Not a joke. So but the hand sanitizer's good. Buy as much as you can and use it. Make sure you use it though. Don't resell it. Unless you're at a con, $5 is probably worth it for some of these people. But anyway, back to wait a minute. We got JLS Comics. How you doing, JLS? Nice to see Jesse in the chat tonight. We got a lot of people hopping in here. This is awesome. Thank you guys for coming out. I know I planned this like 3 minutes before I went live, so this means the world to me, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Next up, this guy was really busy most of the con. I waited till Sunday, and I'm glad I did, but I got a James Tynion to sign my Batman 86. Unfortunately, I personally don't have a copy of 89. To be honest, I'm not really looking for it. It's just one of those crazy, speculator gimmick books, and I'm just going to read it digitally, wait for the hardcover. I'll be perfectly honest, but I bought this because I do like me some James Tynion. I think I'd say he's finally rated. I used to say he's one of the most underrated writers the DC has, but now he's finally getting his time in the sun. Because of that Batman 89, he had a line around the block Friday and Saturday, and so did Tony Daniel. Tony Daniel finally just started charging $10 a sig, so that helped kill his line off real quick. So I just got this signed by Tynion because I didn't want to pay $10 for the other signature, because then those boxes back there, I have tons of Tony Daniel signatures, so I didn't need to pay $10 for a new one. So still went by and said hi. So actually, it's a quick story on Tony Daniel, because I do want to appreciate him. And actually, I think I still have it right here. Joker 68 is in the chat. So I was telling him about Joker 68, and Tony Daniel, like I said, kind of sucks he's charging for signatures, but this was really nice. I was just telling him about, I was getting signatures for Joker 68, and I was telling him about his situation. He just couldn't make it to the con. And Tony Daniel was nice enough to throw in this free print. So I'm going to ship this out to Joker, and he signed and personalized it to him right there. So thought that was really nice. Had to mention that for Tony Daniel. So class act right there. Absolutely. So Joker, hopefully that'll be coming to you tomorrow if you're still in the chat, bud. Here we go. I got some Harley Quinns. Got a chance to walk right up to Mirka Andolfo's table toward the end of Sunday as well. So I got this Harley Quinn 29 signed by Mirka Andolfo. I was actually just pleasantly surprised she actually showed up this year. I think she had a 3-year running streak of being announced for the show and canceling. So I figured in the world of all these people canceling this year, she would be on that list. But no, she showed up, and she was awesome. So I'm glad Mirka Andolfo could finally make it to C2E2. So she signed that for me. And then I had to get this cover signed by somebody. I know it's the Art Germs art, but she did the interiors on Catwoman 15. So maybe one day I'll meet with my quote-unquote, according to Great Legend show and chat in the Comic Corps, my best buddy, Art Germ. So I'll meet Art Germ and get a signature on this. But this is my favorite Art Germ cover, I'd say, just because of the I love me some Batman Returns Catwoman. And then I think the last floppy cover comics I have signed, I met Dave Watcher, and he did the interior art of Turtles. I was telling him how much I really enjoyed the Turtles run. Honestly, it's my favorite run on the shelves right now is this TMNT run, without a doubt. I mean, I don't know if I'm just getting older and more grumbly, but in terms of my DC and Marvel pickups, I think TMNT's been my favorite thing going. So I had to meet Dave Watcher. Yeah, these signatures don't come in the best on my camera, but he signed it right there. Dave Watcher. Got my issue 99. I figure if I'm paying freaking $8 for these comics, I may as well get them signed, especially 99. Like this one still gets on me because they need to get the 100, which is a double size, but they still had 2 comics with the storytelling to tell in this one before you could get this one. So they just made this a double size too and charged me double. But hey, thanks IDW. But anyway, it's a good story nonetheless. But the interesting kind of story for Dave Watcher, I guess, if he signs these, he usually charges $10, which he was nice enough to actually sign it right there. But I was just like, yeah, I gave him the book, and he's like, it's explaining like, oh, it's $10. Well, I was like, I don't have $10 on me right now. Spoilers, I had $10, but I just don't like paying for SIGs. And he was nice enough to sign it anyway, so I was just like, "Oh, thanks a lot, man." Like I think he realized that I wasn't going to resell this, which I'm definitely not. This is one of my favorite comics going now. I'm not reselling this, but nonetheless, I did get this signed for free. So really nice guy, Dave Watcher. I think he actually goes every year, so I definitely one day I might have to try to get a original piece of art from him because really cool guy. All right, before I show off a couple pickups, so I really didn't pick up a lot from the show. Because to be honest, I was doing the CTA transit for most of my travel. I said I didn't even take a bag on Saturday because I was going to wrestling. So I didn't end up picking up a lot because I was waiting in lines. I was trying to navigate through a lot of the aisles. But nonetheless, my pickups are minimal, which I'll get there in a second. But I do want to show off some of the people in the chat. Where'd he go? I know I saw him say hi somewhere. We got Midwest Comic Man Paul somewhere in his chat. There he goes. Says the 1 year America does not cancel. Paul, I hope you're feeling better. I know you guys were under the weather. Didn't make it to C2E2 this year, but hopefully next year we can get together at some point, Paul. I know it's not too bad of a drive for you either. But Midwest Comic Man Paul, how you doing tonight? Nice to see you in the chat. Moral Biggie Shack, he's clanging, he's banging, he's going down Santa Monica, and he's in the chat tonight. So sub march to 1 million signatures. I got a little bit of work to do on that one, but maybe one day. So definitely showing off some signatures. Like I said, my favorite thing to do is just pick up signatures. Man from Beantown says, I think I'm going to fly out to C2E2 again next year. It may be my favorite show. It's kind of like that nice, I don't know if I want to call it a middle point, but it's not as jam-packed from what I've heard of San Diego, New York, but it definitely has that much bigger feel than say some of your other book conventions, like Cincinnati Comic Expo, for instance, Indiana Comic Con. Those are what I think of as, smaller tier conventions. And C2E2 definitely feels like it's a step way above those. So, and we got Jeff Comic 813 in chat. How you doing, man? Nice to see you tonight. I think he was also asking about MegaCon. Yep, I am booked up for MegaCon. I got my plane booked last night. The place we're staying, paid for, so we're good to go there. We got John's Comics with Kids. How you doing tonight, John? Hopefully we'll be seeing him in MegaCon as well from the rumors I have heard, so we'll see. But nice to see John in the chat tonight. I think he had that Comigories on Monday night last night with Boy at 7, and I think he's got a book review coming on his channel tonight, so definitely check out John's Comics with Kids. JL says, I'm going to wear a Bubble Boy thing at MegaCon. I guess it's cosplay. It's a really good idea, man. Really good idea right now. Prowler's asking if I got new sketches for my book. I do have one to show off at the end. I was saving that for last, but there is one coming up. So if you're looking for original art, I do have one. Because like I said, I got mostly signatures in the book too, so I'll show that off. John says TMNT is awesome. We read the original books for book club last week. They hold up well. Great stories. Especially that first run. I love the one where the first issue basically where they're just fighting Shredder on the rooftop, because I watched the movie as a kid, and that always reminds me of how awesome that movie is, and that whole fight with Shredder and that stuff. In the book, they actually ask him to commit seppuku because he loses, and they want him to maintain his ninja honor. So I was always a sucker for that once I read that for the first time. Great Legend showing some love to Fish Tropic. Fish Tropic saying a Big E Shack attack. Midwest says, I told him that the entire show smelled like Lysol and pot. Yeah, pretty much it. And then hopefully I didn't miss everyone. Purgatory Paul says, water parks rule. Absolutely. All right. I'll show you a couple book pickups real quick. I picked up I think these are the only 3 books. I guess I could show off this print real quick since it's on top. Sean Gordon Murphy, once again. The way he was running his table, it was like $1 a sig or something like that. But if you bought some, you just signed anything for free. So I thought this was a badass print from his last issue of Curse of the White Knight. It's just the Azrael Batman right before he ends up like landing on a rooftop and puking his guts out. But nonetheless, I really like this image. It's definitely going up on a wall somewhere in this room. I'm running out of room, but we'll figure out somewhere to put that. But it was like, I think, $20 for the print. And he signed anything for free after that. The one exclusive I did manage to pick up, and I actually kind of want to read it because I don't even think it's out on shelves yet. We got the Flash 750. Get that glare. There you go. There's a nice super glare for you. So I got the foil of Flash 750. I believe this comes out tomorrow. Maybe I'll just wait and get another copy tomorrow and read it on the DCF a year from now when I remember to read it. But I want to at least get one con exclusive. And I thought about getting Joshua Williamson to sign this, but I never got a chance to meet him after I bought this. So $25 at the Graffiti Designs booth. The bigger ones were $25. The smaller issues were $15. So I think they had 5 exclusive overall. So the 2 bigger ones I had was this and Wonder Woman 750. So I figured I'd just get this one. I didn't feel like blowing my budget too much. I did get a couple blanks for future use. I finally found this Green Lantern #1 season 2. So no legend will like this book. I've been looking for this green blank for a little while. My store didn't even order this when these came out. So hopefully I can get something on there at some point. But there was a dude selling blanks at cover price. So I got this one for $5. Right next to it, don't know what I'm going to get put on it. Don't know what I would look for. But got this Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality blank for $5 too. It's figured it never hurts to have a couple variant blank covers in the collection to take around the cons. So we'll see what happens with these down the line, hopefully. So cover price, I didn't figure I would be able to get those down the line. All right, so you guys know me, I like me some hardcovers. And I don't know why I take these to the cons, but I do. And by the way, before I get into the hardcovers, we got Mark Knapp 68. He's in the chat. How you doing, man? Scott Evans has joined us. How you doing, Scott? Nice to see you tonight. And Superior Hero Reviews. How you doing, Superior? Nice to see more people hopping in the chat. Hey, this is awesome, guys. Thank you so much. All right. Hardcovers. These are heavy. I don't know why I keep taking them, but I do. But nonetheless, this is on my Friday trying to figure out how I'm going to get signatures in these books and not carry them around 2 more days because they're not light. They're not fun. Here's one I'm probably going to read either tonight or tomorrow. This will probably be my reading project because I wanted to read it last week. It just didn't happen for some reason. The Sixth Gun. So once again, I guess I unplugged the Cullen Bunn interview. Description below. Big thanks to Chuck Load for allowing me to sit in on his Cullen Bunn interview and ask him a couple of questions. But I did get a chance to meet Cullen beforehand and get a couple signatures, so he signed my Sixth Gun trade. And then I had him sign this bad boy. This is Harrow County. So definitely, I just read this a couple weeks ago, and it was fresh on my mind. Really good work. So I got Cullen Bunn to sign the inside of that as well. I was very happy to talk to him about Harrow County. He seemed pretty fired up to talk about Harrow County. So I didn't know there were 4 library editions. So he signs, he's like, man, looks like you need some more library editions of Harrow County. I'm like, cool. Is there like one more? Apparently there's 4. So now I got to collect at least volume 2 and then keep going from there. Even talking to Chuck about it and hearing him talk about it, he was saying it's really good too. And he was highlighting that as we were talking to Cullen Bunn. So definitely want to read more of that. I got the Flash Volume 1 from the Flash Rebirth stuff. I got this signed by Joshua Williamson. Signed it real big, put a Flash logo in there. So definitely want to make sure I got a hardcover signed by him. And then my last 2 hardcovers, both Jonathan Hickman. So if I could have picked like one hardcover to take and get signed, it was probably this one just because I really like this X-Men run that Jonathan Hickman has crafted. I keep saying it's one of the most like thought out recent Marvel DC reads I've read is this House and Powers of X. But it definitely had to take this to get Hickman to get his sign in there. And he was nice enough to, personalize it to me and all that stuff. And there you go, Jonathan Hickman signed. And then I also had Manhattan Projects on me. So I was like, me and Jonathan Hickman, I may as well take Manhattan Projects because I just found this one the other day. So he signed that as well on the inside. Thank you, Glare, for that. And I believe that should be it for the actual raw signatures. Finally. So, yeah, I didn't take count yet. I don't know. I'll probably end up putting it on the tally of my total signatures. But overall, I think I did pretty solid. But yeah, it was that Friday. It felt like a lot of work. So this may or may not be the last con I try to take this many signatures. So yeah, a lot of work. But nonetheless, going to the original art I accumulated. Like I said, I spent a lot of time getting signatures. So I didn't get a lot of time to drop off my book. There was just no one I was fired up to get a commission from, really. Most of the people I understand were kind of unattainable or beyond my price range, because at the end of the day, I'm kind of frugal with how I get. I usually don't break $100 on anything in this book. I actually still haven't. So a lot of people, when they go to C2E2, they'll charge $250 for a headshot. That's not for me. If someone else out there wants to do that, that's awesome. Cool. You get a great headshot, you get good quality work. But I usually just do $100 or below for anything. So probably have to break that rule eventually, just because it's getting tougher to get good art from experienced artists for that price. But nonetheless, I did get one. Just got to find the right page here. So Sean Gordon Murphy went back to his booth on Sunday. I was just walking by it, seeing who else was over there, and I saw something about $30 remarks on your books. So I kind of remember a JB Discovery base story last year about how he met Lucio Perillo, got him to remark his sketchbook, and he just did like a whole big sketch. So I got a remark in my sketchbook, basically, which usually I'll just hold this one up for reference. A remark would be like a headshot or something like that big on the book. And that's it. So he said $30 remarks. And I just asked the dude, I'm like, so I have a sketchbook. He's like, oh, that's perfect. I'm like, okay, I'll see what I get for $30. I'll roll the dice and feel lucky. And in my opinion, I think I got a pretty nice $30 worth of Sean Gordon Murphy sketch here. I'll let you guys be the judge. But from what I've seen on other Facebook groups and stuff, I think I got the best one. So huge shout to Sean Gordon Murphy for this. He did this pretty quick, but I was still very happy with my $30 purchase, because he's probably my favorite artist going right now, especially on the DC side, and my favorite writer, really, too. I really like the Batman stuff he's been doing. I hope they eventually put him on an actual Batman book, but it kind of sounds like they're wanting to have him develop his entire universe and make a series of books with the White Knight universe. So we'll see what happens there, but I definitely appreciate his time doing that. Let's see, but what I did accumulate also in the sketchbook, I managed to get, and these aren't all from this con, obviously, but I probably got additional like 10 to 12 signatures in the book at this con. So I think I'm just about officially out of room in this book. Actually, on Friday, I had Sean Gordon Murphy sign there, Joshua Williamson, Gail Simone, even though she signed across the chest window of Power Girl there. I just thought it was funny. Cullen, Bunn. I can't even remember all. I'm going to have to like start taking notes. But it was just, the action was so fast and furious. But nonetheless, it's a cool presentation as soon as you open the book. Lee Weeks is right there. He actually drew a little bit of a Batman cowl he had room. Thought that was kind of cool. And then David Finch, I got him added right there. So as you can see, filling up the space. I'll have to start on the backside eventually. I just put my name in there so people would know. But yeah, I think I'm about to start filling up that side. All right, before I get into my last actual pickup, I do want to go back into the chat. We got Ian Wrestling King 83. How you doing, Ian? Nice to see you in the chat. I like me some wrestling too. Let's see. Sorry, I think I missed some questions earlier. I think someone asked, might have been Chris Barrett, how they ordered the House of Powers of X. They just did it in as they came out. So you get House of X #1, Powers of X #1, House 2, Powers 2, so on and so forth. So that's how they did that. And then Superior Hero Review says, I need to get me a copy of those hardcovers. I think he's probably talking about Harrow County. Yeah, absolutely. Chris Barrett says a Neil Adams sketch for Biggie. Yeah, I think, isn't there still like a Biggie Shack personalized Neil Adams signature going around in Neil Adams collection that Kenny needed to get them. It was a funny story way back when. But nonetheless, once again, happy that everyone's still here. Purgatory, Paul says, Harrow County is cool. Absolutely. Chris Barrett says, I still think the best SIG sketch you have is the Palmiotti Wolverine. Oh, yeah, and that was free too. Palmiotti, unfortunately, because of, I think, the Harley Quinn movie, Amanda Conner, Jimmy Palmiotti, they had a line around the block too. So didn't get a chance to meet. I did wait in line next to Jimmy Palmiotti when I got my Flash 750 at least, so there was that. But I wasn't going to pester him or anything when he was, conducting business, obviously. So my last pickup, Mirka Andolfo once again. She has this 2019 sketchbook, her art book basically, which I still need to flip through this and see what all's in it. But it was $30 for the book, but they said they had just enough time for one more $30 sketch. So $60 got me this book plus Mirka Andolfo head sketch. So I thought that was a lot of work. That they put, considering like she was charging 3 figures for a head sketch otherwise, like this was absolutely the route to go to get some original art from her. Because like I said, going, like if I wanted to get something in my sketchbook, it probably would have been kind of similar to this, but like a couple $100. So I'm very glad to get this. So Chris Barrett says there are boobs in that book. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to show too much of this book. Even like the inside flap has stuff I probably shouldn't show on my channel. So I'll definitely be seeing what all is in that later, I guess. Baked Steak says MegaCon needs to start releasing some more stars. They have a huge turnout of celebs and creators last year. I think they're beefing it up. Hopefully, I'm so far I'm happy with their creator lineup. I really want to meet Phil Jimenez. I've never met him before. I really enjoyed his work at DC in the 2000s, especially Infinite Crisis. Some of my favorite work he's ever done. He has this phenomenal variant cover for Teen Titans 100 where he draws like every Titan on the cover. That's my favorite cover he's ever done. So I'm at least going to have to take that one book with me, if nothing else. Whoops. Sorry about that, guys. I had to grab one more book and just annihilated the camera alignment there. And Bake says they're just releasing with ways, just impatient. Hey, me too, man. Sometimes I just wish I could just see the whole lineup and get planned way beforehand instead of like the day before at this point. All right, so my last book I got, and I put this gentleman's link below. I didn't know I wasn't subbed to him. I subbed to him as I was looking for his link. So I was like, I wonder if he's going to put out like a C2E2 recap video kind of like this. And he probably did. I just didn't see it because somehow my sub form fell off. So I corrected that. So Dee Runk, if you're watching, I just subbed you today, buddy. So thanks. Like I said, I swear I've subbed to him already, but you guys know how YouTube can be sometimes. But nonetheless, I got this DGC slab. So he was in line at the CGC to do some pickups, and he's like, man, I got a book for you if you can make it over here. Like, it's the very least I can do. If you're giving me something, the very least I can go to you. So I get there, and he's like, you're the only other Connor Kent fan that I can think of. So I definitely want to make sure I give this book to you. So this is a DGC 9.8 of Adventures of Superman 501, signed by Carl Kessel. I've never met Carl Kessel. I've always wanted to. So this is really cool. So big thanks to George at Dee Runk Comics. Even custom made the label, put, his own like labels and everything on there. Thought that was awesome. He has his own stickers he put on there and everything. So very cool. I'll probably Mylar this one up in the Mylar bag. So very awesome, man. I can't thank you enough for this. Just the fact that, like I was saying on Modern Men last night, it's one thing to give someone a book and okay. Another thing to give them a signed book, but to go to this length and craft this whole slab and, have fun with it and then, do the okay. Just the fact that, you think of me and go that much work. Big thanks, man. That's awesome. Can't thank you enough. So definitely sub up Dee Runk Comics. I put his link in the description below. So at the very least, sub him up. We got JP's Budget Collector. I had a chance to meet JP this week. He's one of the guys I actually caught before he got to leave the beer garden. So got a chance to meet him a couple times. He was awesome. Kavi was awesome. Of course, everybody I met was awesome. So happy I got to at least say hi, shake it. I think we shook hands. I can't remember. A lot of people weren't shaking hands because of the coronavirus, but I think we at least shook hands and all that stuff. So like I said, hand sanitizer. Buy it up now. And then Biggie Shack says, nice holograms. All right. So I think that concludes my haul for C2E2. Like I said, always a good show. Wish I would have been able to pick a couple more exclusives up, but at the same time, hey, that leaves me a couple more bucks for MegaCon. So, yay. I can't wait for that. We got Gamma Comics Collectibles saying hi on the chat on this side. There we go. It popped up on this side. So, what's going on, Gamma Comics Collectibles? Nice to see you in the chat tonight. But I think I'm going to cut this video a little bit short, guys, because like I said, I'm surprised I made it this far and haven't coughed all over the microphone. So, definitely big thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciated the turnout tonight. Absolutely awesome. Glad I got to meet a lot of you guys who turned up in the chat tonight at C2E2. Hopefully, if you guys are going to MegaCon, definitely shout it out. Let's get that meetup scheduled. And I believe, we're going to be powered by the Hero Initiative at MegaCon. So look for where the Hero Initiative is at in your program guide or on the app or however they're going to do all that. And definitely make sure you find where the Comic Corps is going to be at, because we're going to be there all 4 days going crazy. So big thanks to you guys for joining me in the chat tonight. But until then, thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.